Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. A very good afternoon to one and all. I am Sumera Tabassum, a student of first year M.Com, St.Teresa's Degree College for Women, and I will be your host for this webinar on usage of e-resources in higher education. Before commencing the session, I would like to brief all the participants the guidelines to be followed throughout the session. The guidelines are: first, mute your audio and video throughout the webinar. Second, kindly refrain from introducing and greeting each other on with the speaker in the chat box. Third, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your control panel with your name and college. I will bring them up at the end of the presentation and we will also have time for question and answer at the end. Fourth, this program allows publicly visible chat. Keep your contributions helpful and considerate of the host and other participants. Fifth, the participation e-certificates shall be issued only upon successful submission of the feedback form, which shall be posted at the end of this session. The e-certificate will be issued to all the registered participants within 10 days after the successful completion of the program. I request all our participants to strictly adhere to all the guidelines and kindly cooperate to ensure smooth flow of the program. When the invocation descends into the heart, if there is darkness within, it illuminates it. And if there is already light, the invocation increases the light and intensifies it. With this quote, I request Sushmita of final year BCom to invoke God's blessings amidst us through an invocation song. Over to you, Sushmita.
ನೀನೇ ದೇವ ಬೆಳಕು ಬದುಕಿಗೆ ದೇವನೇ ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಲು ದೂರ ದೂರ ഇരുಳು ದಿಕ್ಕು ದಿಕ್ಕಿಗೂ ಮೂಲೆ ಮೂಲೆಗೂ ಹರಡುವ ಬೆಳಕು ಸಜ್ಜನರನ್ನು ದುರ್ಜನರನ್ನು ತಬ್ಬುವ ಬೆಳಕು ಹಬ್ಬಿ ತಬ್ಬಿ ನಾಡುಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬೆಳಕು ನೀನೇ ದೇವ ಬೆಳಕು ಬೆಳಕು ಇರುವ ಹೃದಯ ಸುಂದರ ಬೆಳಕು ಇರುವ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಹಗುರ ಮುಸಕು ಹಕಾದೂರ ಧರ್ಮ ನೀತಿ ಹತ್ತಿರ ರೋಷ ದ್ವೇಷ ಮಾಡು ನಿನಾಶ ಬೇಡ ದೋಷ ಹಾಕುನಿ ಅಂಕುಶ ಬಾಳಲಿ ನಾಡಲಿ ತುಂಬಲಿ ಹರುಷ ನೀನೇ ದೇವ ಬೆಳಕು ಬದುಕಿಗೆ ದೇವನೇ ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀ ಇರಲು ದೂರ ದೂರ ഇരുಳು ದಿಕ್ಕು ದಿಕ್ಕಿಗೂ ಮೂಲೆ ಮೂಲೆಗೂ ಹರಡುವ ಬೆಳಕು ಸಜ್ಜನರನ್ನು ದುರ್ಜನರನ್ನು ತಬ್ಬುವ ಬೆಳಕು ಹಬ್ಬಿ ತಬ್ಬಿ ನಾಳೆಗಳನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗುವ ಬೆಳಕು ನೀನೇ ದೇವ ಬೆಳಕು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Thank you, Sushmita. Hospitality is simply an opportunity to show love and care. I request Sumaya Khanam, a student of final year BCom, to welcome the gathering. Over to you, Sumaya.
If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Sumaya Khanam of third year BCom, here to welcome the gathering. It is my immense pleasure to welcome you all to this webinar on usage of e-resources in higher education. First and foremost, I seek God's blessings and welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Sister Prema, who supports us in every situation. Welcome you, sister. I would like to welcome Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator Mrs. Malika Shetty ma'am who guides us every time. Welcome you ma'am. I extend my welcome to the resource person of today's webinar, Dr. Pavankumar sir, Department of Library, Sheshadipuram First Grade College. Welcome you sir. I welcome Mrs. Lakshmi ma'am, the librarian of the college and program organizer. Welcome you, ma'am. I extend my warm welcome to PG coordinators and HOD of various streams, teaching and non-teaching faculties. Finally, I welcome all the students present in the webinar. Creativity is seeing the same thing but thinking differently. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumaya. Welcome to you too. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. With this thought, I now request Janvi of final year BCom to brief us about our today's resource person, that is Dr. Pavankumar sir. Over to you, Janvi.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Hi, Janvi of final year BCom from St. Teresa's Degree College for Women is here to give an introduction about today's resource person, Mr. Pavan Kumar, who has completed his Master of Library and Information Science at Gulbarga University in the year 2008 and has done his Ph.D. at Reva University, Bangalore in the year 2021. He is good at technical skills like library automation, software, online database, and library documentation database, and many more. He has also completed 1 month internship at National Center for Biological Science. Sir has also got the work experience as library trainee at National Center for Biological Sciences and librarian at Sheshadripuram First Grade College. Sir has got rich experience in participating in seminars, workshop, paper presentation, and publications. To name a few, he has participated in one-day seminar on libraries in open society held at BMS Institute of Technology and Management, and also participated in two-day national conference on role of LIS professionals in the changing academy organized by Presidency University. Sir has presented a paper on stock verification and loss of books in degree college libraries of Sheshadripuram Educational Trust and had also presented a paper on academic library websites and blogs as marketing tools and made a presentation on impact of SNS technology on postgraduate students of Sheshadripuram Institute of Management Studies. Sir has participated in FDP on skills of librarianship organized by LIS Academy and NCSI NET Foundation. He is also a association member at Indian Library Association, Karnataka State Library Association, Kannada Sahitya Parishatu, and Sahitya Academy at New Delhi. There are many more, and Sir has got numerous accomplishments in his feathers. We are proud to have Sir as today's resource person. We are waiting to hear from you, Sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janvi, for briefing us all about Dr. Pavankumar sir. Indeed, he is an inspiring and motivational personality. I now request our today's resource person, Dr. Pavankumar sir, to take over this session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Can I start my presentation? Is it possible to help me in putting my PPT on screen? You people are listening? Audio, it's audible?
Yes, sir.
Uh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm presenting. Just a minute. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pavan Kumar. Already you know about me, and it's my pleasure to associate with St. Teresa Degree College for Women's. And thank you for giving an opportunity to speak about usage of e-resources in higher education. And especially thanks to Dr. Sister Prema ma'am, principal of college and vice principal of the college, and IQAC coordinator Miss Malika ma'am, and Lakshmi ma'am, librarian of the college, and other participants. Now let us start a presentation on usage of e-resources in higher education. I think you people are, it's visible. My PPT is visible to you? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's visible
Yes,
now?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
I'm not able to move my slides. Anybody, technical people can help me? Now it's visible? It's visible?
Is
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. My presentation, I want to start with I want to say something about library. Before starting usage of e-resources or the library resources, basically what do you meant by library? A library is a traditional building or room, okay, which act as a dwelling place or different types of books, which will be used for reading or studying. The word library, everybody knows the word library is derived from liber. What happens in earlier days, library means this definition holds good, but due to the globalization and due to development in ICT sector, the concept of the library becomes without walls. But still, the many libraries have a good infrastructure with good building, and it is usually associated with uh, or university or educational institution. Or some of the public libraries are also there. That libraries are meant for general public. Okay, I will explain in detail about all those things in my further slides. Okay, now let us concentrate on categorization of modern libraries. Earlier, what happens? Libraries is meant for only the enlightened people, the learned man, the learned classes. But after independence, after everything, after independence, now the modern libraries are categorized in the following parts. First one is academic library, second one is public library, third one is school library, fourth one is special library. The nomenclature itself explains about what you meant by academic library. Academic library is meant for providing services to college and university people or students, and it facilitates those targeted audience are registered in their college or university. But for public libraries, it's not like that. It is meant for general public. Here, from all size and types of category of peoples can come, they can acquire the knowledge, they can gather information, they make use of all the library facilities. School library is meant for children and the particular staffs. Here, you may get the syllabus oriented books like story books and some of the books which are related to subjects, everything. The school library starts from kindergarten to high school education. Now, fourth one is special. The name itself tells about special library. These libraries are mainly located in hospital, military stations, and some of the some of the libraries are located in courts and some R&D institution. Here, special type of the documents they will keep, like patents, research articles, research materials, thesis, and R&D related materials. These are broad categorization of modern libraries. There are in deep. If you go in deep, in academic library, there is a college library, there is a university library, etc., etc. I don't want to go into that deep because today's topic is e-resources. I just highlighted what you meant by library, what are the different kinds of the libraries. Now let us focus on types of resources available in the library. As you people know that mainly there are two types of resources. One is print, second one is non-print. Under non-print, there is paid, that is subscribed e-resources. Subscription means a limited period of time. It is different from the buying. Buying is means entirely you can keep with you. There is no time limit. But for subscription, there is a time, 1 year, 2 year, like that. But the second one is open access or free of cost. Here you are not supposed to pay anything for accessing these kind of e-resources or any other databases. These are mainly two types of e-resources. I am not focusing on print resources in this presentation. I am focusing only on e-resources. Here I put a picture which shows the entire world is moving. It is started moving towards e-resources. In Western countries, the maximum universities are using already maximum e-resources. But in India, the university level and in the R&D institution, they are using maximum e-resources. Nowadays, what happens due to the pandemic, all the e-resources are started using by our degree college also. And because of environmental issues also there, that's why the publisher also want to publish more e-resources rather than printed documents. If anything, you want anything about e-resources or any queries or anything, please raise your hand, or you just open your you unmute yourself and tell me. I think my presentation is visible and you are listening. Okay, anybody can tell it's visible now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Then we will see. Now I'm going to my main topic, that is e-resources. You know, e-resource means the electronic resources. It requires some of the platforms such as basic platform is internet. Due to the information technology, the many things is changed. The world acts differently for retrieving of information. Nowadays, library collections are not limited to printed documents. Because of the dynamic nature of the electronic resources, libraries want to acquire the electronic resources. They are maintained. They have some print resources, uh, but they are showing more interest on e-resources. Electronic resources have become the vital part of human life, I think. Due to development in ICT, in 21st century, we are supposed to use all type of information. I think everybody already have Android phone or Apple phone. That is also one of the gadget. By using that gadget, we can acquire, or we can disseminate, or we can store e-resources. The availability of scholarly publication through electronic mediums or internet has greater impact on information requirement of the researcher. Here I am focusing on the PhD scholars or researchers or R&D activities. They are more fascinated about, they are more using for their research work, they are more dependent on e-resources rather than the printed document. Printed document they will consider as a secondary sources. In e-resources, they will get primary data. Adequate they will get the latest information, and they can store, they can access, they can keep anywhere in their laptop or in their desktop, and it is very easy to access. In advantages, I will tell all the advantages in detail. In further slide, I'm going to tell all the advantages of the e-resources. Nowadays, the majority of the print and electronic scholarly publisher, I told in my earlier slide, the publisher are slowly moving towards non-print resources. They don't want to spend on printed documents because of so many issues. And they can send by publishing e-resources, uh, publishing e-resources, publishing e-resources globally. Some of the e-information includes full text databases of journals, books, patents, standards, technical reports, dissertation, thesis, annual report, etc. These are the some forms of the e-resources. It may have different kind of content in that, but it is very useful for any user which are eager to acquire knowledge or which are ready to conduct any research or for recreational work, anything. For this kind of work, they need e-resources. This is the some information about e-resources. Now let us see why we need e-resources. Okay, I told all the details in my earlier slide.
Excuse me,
Now,
sir.
sorry,
Excuse me, sir.
tell me.
I can't hear your voice, sir. Can you please talk louder?
Okay, okay, just a minute. I will put a this thing earphone and I will talk. Okay,
Okay, sir.
now it's audible. It's audible.
No, sir.
It's not audible.
Sri Prada, it's audible. Might be mistake is from your side, pa? Network issue.
Okay,
For
okay,
us, it is audible, sir. You can continue, sir.
okay, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay.
you.
Now let us see need of e-resources. Need is the basic necessity of the any activities. Without need, nobody can act. If you want anything about information or you want to use e-resources, need is the basic necessity. It helpful in changing trends of in publishing. I told you in my old slide only I suggested how the publishers are moving from that printed source to e-resources because of they want to globalize themselves. They want to reach more people. They want to spend less money on publishing. They want to spend less. They don't want to spend on transportation, everything. These are the issues mattering them. For that, they are slowly shifting from print source to e-resources. It can be used by more than one user, multiple accessibility. But in what happens in print resources, if one person is reading a particular book, the other person can't access. He or she is supposed to wait for until unless that person will return that books, and after that only they can access that book. But here what happens in a single mode or in a single place, they can access the many can access the same resources. It saves the time of the reader. In our library philosophy, fourth law tells save the time of the reader. It fulfills that law also. Any change can be made quickly. I think you heard the Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a public encyclopedia. Here you can change, you can edit, you can add. Like that, some of the e-resources, the made provision that you can add, you can edit with the permission of the publisher or segregator. This is also one of the important factors influencing on use of e-resources. Now the readers' demand is more. I think everybody wants quick information. They are not ready to wait. They want all the information on their fingertips. That's why the demand is more. Information in different format. They don't want simply a book, a journal, a thesis, a printed version. They want in a soft copy or in PDF format or Word format or JPG format, like that. There are different formats. For fulfilling their demand, these e-resources are more useful rather than printed documents. If libraries are not, here I am focusing on libraries. Please listen carefully. If libraries are not changed accordingly, they will not get the benefit of globalization. If you become idle, or you are not ready to cope up with the need of the users, you become obsolete, because the Google and other dominate on library. Already it is happening, but we have to gear up ourselves. We have to use these kind of e-resources, and we have to motivate our users to use this kind of e-resources by coming library or sitting in their home by using our portal. Uh, then only we can survive in the competitive world. So it is better. So there is a great need for globalization in the libraries to provide maximum information to its users. By just pressing a button, by user or a librarian can send a lot of information, a maximum information, a needy information uh, to the users, and user can also access that same kind of information by pressing a simple key. They make use of all the data available in the e-resources. These are some of the needs I thought that I mentioned in this slide. There are many needs, but I only took some of the needs which are more important, got more importance in my view. These are the basic need for why we are acquiring e-resources. Okay, let us now see use of e-resources. Electronic resources are very useful in changing habits of writers and readers. I think you heard the Amitabh Bachchan writing a blog, and the great writers have started their blog, and readers also started like tweeting, and nobody will write now this thing postcard. Everybody tweets, everybody WhatsApp, and they will chat on WhatsApp, they will chat on Facebook, like that. In e-resources also, some of the options are given to the users. They can demand, they can write something about e-resources, they can review that e-resources, they can do some suggestion, like that. The habit of writers also, because of this nature, the habit is changed. The usage, this is the usage of e-resources. It also helpful in changing the pattern of serving the library users. What happens in early days, the user will come to the library, will provide, will take his or her card and will view some 1 or 2 books for 15 days. I think it is happening. I'm not saying that it is completely stopped. This is the basic necessity. It's like a mother. You can't stop this one. But parallelly, the students are very much interested, or the users are very much interested in e-resources. I think the best example is this Corona period. We librarians are providing some of the information, the basic information or the research related information through e-resources only, because we can't come to the library. Users are not able to come outside the house, they can't access, but still online classes are happening. For them, they need a resource which they are supposed to write assignment, they are supposed to write a test, everything. They need resources. For that time, these e-resources are very useful. Some of the platforms are mentioned here, like e-database. Some of the basic e-resources, types of e-resources, we can call it as a type of e-resources, that is e-journals, e-database, CD-ROMs, everything, etc., etc., etc. These are the some basic e-resources, types of e-resources. Okay, then how to access these resources? There is access issues. You can access through password as well ID. If it is open access, there is no need such kind of password. But subscribed version, you are supposed to access by using a authenticated user ID as well as password. It is remote access facility, or it is IP based facility, or it is in-house facility. It is left to the segregator. How the segregator will give e-resources to your institution, it's depend on that. And it is readily available. Electronic resources are more readily available rather than printed documents. If you want if you are ready to subscribe or you are ready to use open access, you will get a database which contains all type of information. It will give ebooks, it will give e-journals, e-database, and on all subjects, not on a particular subject. There are two types. There are mainly two types. One is subject oriented database, publisher oriented database. The second one is a segregator will segregate all the data from the different kinds of publisher, and he will give a repository type of system. That segregator will provide like Web of Science, Sage. He will club all the data, all the journal URLs in a single database and a single platform. Through that, you can access different kind of e-resources of different publishers. Now let us see, or let us focus on types of e-resources. Usage of information and communication technology helps to produce a large number of electronic resources. Information is like a flow. You can't stop. But the form is changing. There are many forms. I told in my old slide that there are different forms. That is, one is journal, books, newspapers, magazines. If you cut the first part, electronics, they become printed sources. That means already journals are in printed form, already books in printed form, and you are getting a dailies, that is newspaper and magazines. What happens? The many publishers are shifted to a printed version to electronic version. These are the different types of e-resources. Here I want to mention about OPAC. OPAC is the like a abstract of your library. By seeing OPAC, you can come to know that what type of the documents available in the library. I will tell in detail about OPAC in my further slides. Online and offline databases. Here, some of the databases are online. Some of the databases are available on CDs like Lisa, Lista, Agrees. They will send a CD in quarterly, half yearly, monthly. These are the abstracting databases. There are two types of databases. One is full text database. The second one is abstracting databases. Usually, online databases are more or less the full text databases. Offline databases are more or less of abstract databases. And you know about Show the Ganga. Show the Ganga is also a website. Here you can find electronic thesis. It is made mandatory. A researcher, after completion of his or her Ph.D., the university must host his or her thesis on Show the Ganga. It is a repository. It is an Indian repository. It is managed by UGC. Like the electronic thesis and dissertations also type of the e-resources. Okay, let us see one by one. What you meant by electronic journal? Journals play a vital role in the research and development activities. Why? It contains the specific information, subject related information, up-to-date information compared to the book. In our field or in our library language, we call it as a primary source of information. Journal is considered as a primary source of information. But in other fields like commerce and management or some other, they will treat these journals is also as a secondary source of information. For research, source is very important. They want to study how the other person had done a research on the same or similar topic in some part of the world, or they want to publish some articles. They want to see how pattern is there. For them, the electronic journals are very useful. The physical and hard volume of journals are being replaced by electronic media available in CDs and DVDs. There are now CDs and DVDs are becoming obsolete. Straight away, they are giving the electronic journal through databases on subscription basis. Electronic journals have helped the publishers and users to cope up with growth of journals. This is also one of the point. the periodical that is available in an electronic or computerized form known as electron. This is definition. Simply, I put a definition for the user convenience, which is available on a online platform is considered as an electronic resource. Like now, let us see e-books or electronics. A book which is available in electronic format. I think you heard the Kindle. On that, you can store more than 60,000 books. Earlier, it's not possible to carry 60,000 books while traveling or while traveling also, as well as you can't keep 60,000 books in your home. You can't maintain. No library can't maintain such kind of the huge books in a single place. It requires a lot of space. For libraries, it requires a lot of place. For home, it requires a lot of space. But what happens due to these kind of electronics books, you can carry a 60,000 books or 70,000 books, a lakh of books in a single mode or a media called as Kindle, or there are Android phones are there. You can download PDF format. You can keep many more books. You can delete it. You can add it. Because of this nature, electronics books are gaining importance in youths. It contains the latest and most updated information. Usually, book after 1 or 2 years, the whatever information available in the books becomes obsolete. There are many because of dynamic nature of the information. Information is like that within a few seconds it is changing because of R&D activities happening in every corner of the world. Electronics books will provide such a mechanism. They made mechanism. If something is changed in the old version or old volume, now if they add anything new, automatically it will replace with old data to new data. And it can be, I told you, it can be stored very easily and saves library space. I touched this point also. Electronic newspaper. In this pandemic time, what is happening outside the world, we can't go out, and we are not able to reach any person. But these newspapers and that newspaper agency people are not able to come to our home. They will not giving any newspaper in proper time. They may some places they may giving, but in remote places they are not able to provide a newspaper. For those kind of people, for such type of places, these electronic newspapers are very useful. An electronic newspaper is a self-contained, reusable and refreshable version. If you press a fresh button, there is a one button in their website. If you press that, it will give the latest information, a time like hour-based information. Not like you are not supposed to wait for next day. What happened? You will get within a few seconds of the time. This is the beauty of electronic newspaper. Electronic gen means a magazine. Some of the magazines are very popular, like Political and Economical Weekly. These type of journals are publishing. They started publishing their magazine in electronic format rather than a printed version, and they are updating every day. Electronic gen means I told you it's a web-based web gen. The articles that are stored on on a file server may be distributed or accessed by a computer. For one thing I forgot to tell you, for accessing any electronic resources, first you need some of the basic hardwares or some of the media and internet. Without internet, you can't access electronics materials. You may access offline materials without internet. Without hardware, you can't access any e-resources. Hardware means a phone or a laptop or a desktop or a tablet, etc., etc. I mentioned here two types of this thing. One is CD-ROM. The second one is opaque. CD-ROM, it is small compact disk. Everybody already know what is CD-ROM. On that, it's a silver plated disk. On that, you can put a number of articles, books in a PDF or text or image format. You can put entire full text articles or bibliographical data or scientific data, etc., etc. And it is very easy to carry anywhere. Uh, if you have a laptop, you can put it in the laptop and you can present, you can share, you can access the information which is stored on compact disk. OPAC. OPAC means online public access cataloging. I think you've seen in your library there is a dedicated computer. In that they will open a page named OPAC. OPAC is nothing but a brief brief information about your library. What type of documents are available in the library? How can we access that resources? If it is not available, when it is coming back to your library, you can reserve it also. Everything. These are the main features of OPAC. It gives a bibliographical data of a particular resource. It may be book, it may be journal, it may be thesis, etc. You can search by putting a publisher name. You can search by putting author name. You can search by putting a title of the or keyword. This is the dynamic nature of OPAC. Earlier, what happens? The OPAC is there. The cataloging cards are there, but it takes time to search. And sometimes what happens? The user will fed up with. They may not get entire information. They fed up with, and they will straight away go to the librarian. The librarian will tell if it is available. That librarian will help him. If not, they said, sir, it's not available. But thanks to OPAC, you can access this OPAC through web. If a library host its OPAC on web, you can access from your home or any corner of the world. That is called remote access facility or web OPAC web or web OPAC. This terminology they use. By accessing this kind of OPAC, you come to know that what I told in my few seconds ago. What are the information? You can access all those kind of information within a few seconds of time. Now let us talk about online databases. Here I am not touching about offline databases because offline databases is nowadays becoming obsolete. The more publishers are showing more interest, and libraries are also showing more interest on online databases. A database is a collection of data files integrated and organized in a single comprehensive file system. There are different kinds of file system like PDF, Word, JPEG, Excel, like that. They will compress entire data. They will zip it and they will store on their website, on their portal, and they will host on internet. These kind of data is called as online databases. There are databases are restricted to a single publisher, or a segregator will provide the multiple publisher database. It is a collection of data with giving a structure for accepting, storing, and providing an on demand. If a user want a particular information on particular topic, if commerce people want information on GST, the librarian can easily search on online database. They can share immediately, and they can send a multiple person. And on demand, there is one more option is there, user need. Like the librarian, if know which kind of user are using or doing a research, they can send such kind of information by checking online databases. They can send that information to that fellow particularly. That is called custom-based service or the library terminology is selective dissemination of information. Selective means the selected person. Like a researcher is interested on GST. You may the library people can send that type of that related information to that particular fellow. They will not send to everybody. But current awareness service is not like that. By using on databases also, we can provide current CA services, current awareness services, by hosting entire database, the content page of the database on WhatsApp or on their website, on their like Facebook account. These are the medias. They can host the related information about the resources available in online databases. Electronic thesis and registration. The main segregator of electronic thesis is Shodhaganga. It is a government-sponsored website. Here, the researcher or the university, they must host. They suggest you are supposed to host the thesis which is presented in your university, which is awarded, which was already awarded in your university. By doing this, you can avoid a duplicate work, or you will get the information related to the other researchers. These are the some of the basic like key points or key features of electronic thesis or dissertation. An electronic thesis and dissertation is an electronic document. Here, there is no need to tell that is electronic. Electronic means online document that explain the intellectual work or research of researchers. Thesis, basically, I want to tell in this slide, thesis means what? Thesis means a research work. A particular researcher focused on particular area or particular subject. These kind of thesis, they hosted in electronic format. There is one website is there. The name is DOA, if I'm right, Directory of Open Access Database Thesis. Directory of Open Access Dissertation. Here you will get if anybody posted his or her thesis in that portal, you can download that data and you can make use of that data, and there is only one thing, you are supposed to give some credit to that person, that mentioning his or her name in the reference. These are the features of electronic thesis and database dissertations. Now let us see advantages of electronic thesis. First one is international reach. In printed version, what happens? It is limited to your college or your university or your area, everything. But if you have a e-resources, you can share to any corner of the world. And speed of communication. The second feature advantage is speed of communication. Within a few seconds of time, you can send the 10 GB data, 12 GB data, TB data to anybody. You can download the same thing. You can download the same information, the similar type of information or more information by using electronic resources. In printed documents, it is impossible to download or to store that type of information or to disseminate that kind of information within an hour or within a day. And unlimited capability, I told you. You can download more than 2 GB, 3 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB, and you can send many people at a time. If you have a good internet connectivity, high broadband connectivity, you can send n number of people at a time. Convenience. Here, convenience means what? If you want to you are looking at a particular topic in a particular book. That time you are supposed to read entire documents. Here, what happens by putting a keyword? It straight away it will take to that particular para. You can highlight it that para. You can download it that para. You can make a copy and make a use of this. This is the one of the advantage of electronic resources and searchability. You can search by putting keyword, by putting a word, or putting a string, like you can link. And there is one concept in in many e-resources or many databases, there is a concept of linking. You can create your own library in that page, and you are not able to read entire data. You can store that link in that library. It is a personal library. For they will provide for 15 days, 20 days, 30 days. If you subscribed, it will give up to the subscription whenever your that it will available until your subscription is over. These are the some basic advantages I am listed here. I am sharing with you. In this slide, I want to show some of the initiative made by open access people, because I am advocate of open access e-resources. The government of India took an initiative and they created a portal called National Digital Library of India under the Ministry of Higher Education, Government of India. Here you can see from school to postgraduate, and from arts to science, from commerce, law, etc. The many subjects are available. This is called as a segregator. I am telling in early slides I told there are segregators, there are publisher database. This is the segregated database. Here you will get the data which is published by the other publishers. They will subscribe on behalf of institution. They will segregate it, they will synthesize it, and they will provide on this platform. I want to show this slide because the many researchers don't know. They are struggling to get a data. They can go here. They can make use of this kind of initiative made by Government of India. This slide, this is a part of NDL, National Digital Library. Here I put one slide on law and management. Here you will get management video lecture, questions and solution, books, notes, etc. It is only for like showing how you can make use of NDL library. Kendriya Vidyalaya. Here you will get CBSE related books up to 12th. From all the subjects like Hindi, English, Kannada, sorry, not Kannada, Hindi, English, books, journals, which is meant for KV students and CBSE students. This OER, this is managed by UNESCO. In NDL, I shown you how our government of India is maintaining the e-database like that only. OER is maintained by UNESCO. Here you will get the information related like sources, information sources like ebooks, journals, and thesis, patents, and it is open access. Anybody can access this information without paying anything. And here I listed some of the portals like National Digital Library. I told you Diksha is also like a portal. You will get research related articles, e-PG Patashala or e-Patashala, Swayam, NPTL, etc., etc. I want to tell something about portals. These are the most important portals nowadays the users are using. First one is e-Adhyayana. Here you will get more than 700 ebooks related to a graduate, postgraduate courses, and you can download. You can keep, you can use it, you can paste it, you can cut it, whatever you can do it. But these books are very useful. These are very rare books. They are hosted in e-Adhyayana platform. I think you heard UGC MOOCs. MOOCs are online courses. Nowadays, what happens? The new education policies also tells about usage of MOOCs, you will get some credit after completion of the courses, and these degrees or these certificates are as good as your like Bangalore University certificate, Mysore University certificate, like that. You can use this certificate and you will get a good placement or a good information. uh, if you are studying in a BCom, if you've done a MOOC course, you will get add-on information to you, and you can compete with your fellow competitor. E-Pathya. E-Pathya is an offline access. Here, basically, this E-Pathya is started for CBSE students. Now, slowly, PG Pathya, it is for MBA students. They are, what happens, many rural places, they can't access through online. For them, it is made offline, by posting, by sending an email or by posting a letter to the concerned people. You can access e-Pathya. They will send PDF format. They will send CDs. They will send WhatsApp messages, etc., etc. Now, we see what is e-resources. We come to know the advantages of e-resources. Like every resources have two sides, e-resources also have two edges. One is pros and then cons. Now, problem is cons. The other side, other face of the e-resources. Here, more these are resources are very costly or very expensive. And the second thing is its subscription period is limited. You can't keep with you for more than 1 or 2 years. It is restricted. And major drawback of electronic resources is comprehensiveness. Okay, the comprehensiveness means if you take a one book, you will come to know that what is the content, what type of information. If you search content page, you will come to know that how they are segregated, how they are made a comprehensive presentation, how they are made chapterization. But in what happens in electronic resources, it is little difficult to make comprehensiveness. Because of this drawback, some of the researchers while writing their thesis, and they will prefer a secondary sources, but while searching data, they will take a primary sources, but while writing their thesis, they will dependent on books. This is also one of the drawbacks. Accounts do not have generally date back. Okay, date back means if you subscribe for the 1 year, you will get 1 year access. But in some of the databases, you can access archives also, but it is restricted. You have to pay for that. In open access, they will not keep maximum archives because it's they have to need a big space for that. It become a headache for them. They will remove it and they will add it new information, updated information for the benefit of the users. But in printed sources, you can keep archives with your library. These are some of the drawbacks are listed with reference to electronic resources. Okay, let's come to the conclusion. In conclude, we can say that the electronic resources have become the important part of today's library. Without e-resources, you can't cope up with this world. You must acquire, you must subscribe, or must use open access e-resources for the benefit of users. It has rapidly changed the way of seeking and disseminating of information. Okay. In earlier, what happens? The physically, the student will come, he will take the books, or she will take the books, he will return. But the now what happens due to change in mode of change in the format of the resources by pressing a key. I told you, pressing a key, you can send information. The e-information has also influenced on educational world tremendously. Teaching and learning is happening through e-resources. Now, nobody thought that the teachers will start using Zoom or Google Meet or any other online media for rendering their lectures. uh, Due to COVID, what happens? It becomes a mandatory. It becomes the necessary. This is the dynamic because of these kind of features. We educationists or teachers or librarians are surviving still in this world. If it is not there, we become absolute jobless. What may we don't know what may happen to us thanks to e-resources or thanks to online medias or apps like Zoom and Google Meet, etc. We we are still relevant in the society. This is my brief presentation on e-resources. Thank you. And that thank you slide is missing. Thank you, everyone. If anybody want to ask any question, they can ask the question directly, or they can send their query through chat box to host. They will ask on behalf of you people. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative and knowledgeable session.
Okay, thank you.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask the questions, or you can drop it on the chat box.
Can you suggest some the apps to degree students? Yeah, there is a Swayam portal. One is Swayam. There is a app. Actually, app and app means I'm not sure about apps. NDL, I told you in my slide, and OPR. These are the some of the DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journal, Directory of Open Access Books. Uh, these are the some of the websites. By utilizing this website, you can download ebooks and etc. And Google Scholar, especially for researchers, Google Scholar is one of the important platform where they can access the information. It was interesting session for all of them. Okay. Any queries? Okay. Just I want to focus on this part. Please register your name in like what where it was. 1 minute. Like MOOC. It is high time for the students or a faculty to acquire the knowledge which is apart from your regular degree. I think a new NEP tells about the importance of MOOCs. Please register. It's free of cost. You will get good information and additional certificate. It will help in finding jobs, especially for students. Those who are interested in teaching line or those who are interested in MNC companies, please go to the UGC MOOCs website and you check which subject is useful, which course is useful. Please register yourself and make use of this. This is free. I think this is free of cost. In my best of knowledge, this is free of cost. Any queries?
No, sir.
Lakshmi ma'am? Hello?
No
Participants,
doubt, sir. Nothing.
Okay.
questions?
Okay, then we can wind up the session.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir. Thank
thank
you.
you, everybody for patient listening. If I commit
Thank you,
any
sir.
while presenting, if I commit any mistake, please excuse me. Okay, thank you
No,
for patient
sir.
listening.
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Where is the host? Please
Yeah,
call
sir. Yeah.
Lakshman. Okay.
Gratitude is a powerful catalyst for happiness. We have Umme Ayman of first year MCom to formally propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, Ayman.
Thank you, Sumira. Believe in yourself and anything is possible. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Umme Ayman, pursuing first year MCom in St.Teresa's Degree College for Women. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this workshop. Let me first of all start by giving glory to Almighty God for making today's session a resounding success. First and foremost, I express my gratitude to our today's resource person, Dr. Pavankumar sir, who despite of his busy schedule had found time to share his knowledge with us. Thank you, sir. I wholeheartedly thank our well-wisher, Dr. Sister Prema, for her support. Thank you, sister. My heartfelt thank to our Vice Principal, Mrs. Malika ma'am, PG coordinators, and HODs of various streams. I would like to thank Mrs. Lakshmi ma'am in charge of library. Thank you ma'am. Thank you for organizing such a knowledgeable workshop. Last but not the least, my special and sincere thanks to all the faculties, participants and coordinators. Thank you all. Finally, I leave you this inspiring quote by APJ Abdul Kalam. Black color is sentimentally bad, but every blackboard makes the student's life bright. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Uh, I also want to thank everyone, the principal of the college, IQAC coordinator, and special thanks to librarian Lakshmi Madam. Thank you, ma'am, for giving a wonderful opportunity to me to give present my thoughts on e-resources. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ayman. I request all the participants to fill the feedback form. The link will be shared soon. Thank you, one and all.
Shall we wind up the session?